Hello everybody and welcome to Skyblock Evolution 2.0. This is a mod pack that I watched Imp and Skiz play. It was a lot of fun watching them and it's just a really cool concept. The general idea here is that my inventory slots are locked until I get certain achievements. So I've only got one slot and my offhand by which I can do things. Now I have watched them play through the entire mode here, so I've already got some spoilers and whatnot. I've got my favorite mods installed, so just for my quality of life, and I already have a few tricks. I have tried playing this a couple of times and just kind of stopped. My goal this time is going to be to try and actually do things with it and take it at a pace at which that I feel I'm making tangible progress and doing what I can prior to moving on. We'll see how long I can stick with that. So the first thing that we've got going on here is I'm just on a Skyblock island. You can see that there are some, at least one over there that I can see with my render distance, and over there. And I know there's islands scattered around, but what we've got here is a gap and not a lot going on. And of course, anything that we want is going to be, we're going to have to find it in this world, and hopefully, yep, made the jump. I have a tactic that I like to employ when I do this, just knowing what's going to happen. So what I'm going to try and do is get a sapling here really quick, and if I can do that, we're going to be in really, really good shape. Obviously, having just the one oak tree here is not super ideal, because if you don't get a sapling, you're not going to get another oak tree, at least not easily, and we really need that oak tree, simply because it's a source of infinite blocks if we do things right. And oh man, this is getting sketchy here, guys. So I really need this sapling, and once I get that, then I'm going to go ahead and do the next thing, which is going to change how this game is being played. So if you haven't seen this, I'm not going to say until it happens. So the goal here is obviously... Oh, there we... Stupid apple. Okay. Need a sapling, guys. Just one sapling. Apples. Well, this is a bust to start, so I'm going to restart it because I lost that sapling, and that's going to make my game I could do it, but it's going to make it really, really difficult to do what I would like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and reset and start over. Right, there we go. We have our sapling. Isn't it beautiful? It's just one little sapling. This is all we needed, and I'm going to go ahead and throw that in my offhand. Now, the second thing that we need is the thing that's going to change everything. So I need that right there. So as soon as I pick up these seeds, everything changes. So let's go. All right, and the real kicker of this particular skyblock, I am now in the nether. This is where I'm starting. I got to bring my sapling with me and my seeds, but this is where I have to be. So I'm going to go ahead and punch some warped stems. I was going to say logs, but they're stems. We're going to go ahead and establish a few things, get some storage moving on, and see if we can make this place a little bit safer, and I will be back with you shortly. So there's 4 things in this particular game that I find are of absolute critical importance. One is, I mean, you don't absolutely need that sapling. I just like to do it because it makes my life easier. But what you do need is to make sure you make a crafting table, a chest, and those are important because you've only got 1 slot of inventory. And then the next thing that you need is the composter. That is absolutely critical in this world because you're going to need bone meal. If you don't have bone meal, you're going to have a hard time getting resources. Now, there are some resources you can get, and we will get to those here in just a moment. But this would be my recommended start right here. Make sure you build a composter. And then build a whole bunch of slabs, and let's start building out so that what we start chopping down, we can keep. We want absolutely every block that we can. And to start off, I closed off the gap here. And this is always the sketchy part for me, is jumping down here. And I'm going to go ahead and put blocks there in case I remove a block. I don't want to fall to my doom. And just like that, we are down at the lowest spot that we can currently reach. Now, I like to make this a little bit wider, at least a 3x3 to start, and I will expand it out to a 5x5 as resources allow. Now, one thing you can see, I've got a lava bucket here. I'm going to leave that in place until I'm ready for it, and there is some soul sand that's hiding here. Both of those are very useful things. There's a few other things that are hidden in here, but we are not to that point of getting those yet because we simply want to make this a livable platform. We're going to be building out of a lot of planks and slabs, and basically this green, this is our color right now. Everything is going to be green until we get a foundation built. And as you can see, there are a few things. A portal over there. If I build over to that, I can return to the overworld. Over there, we've got our end portal and a nether fortress, custom made per the map maker. So there are a few islands that are scattered in here. I have only ever really visited this one here and made my way to the portal that's off in the distance. Those are the places that I've been, and hopefully I will make it a lot farther, but the first things I want to do is get started on some resources and start figuring out what I'm going to do about food. Now, I have those wheat seeds, but I don't have any dirt yet. And wheat in the nether grows very, very slowly. So painfully slowly that that's probably not going to be much of a food source for us. However, we will start growing it as time allows, and that's just going to be how it is. So I've got the initial blocks on 2 sides in place, which means that we don't have a lot of room to do much. So what we're going to do is gather what we can of resources, because what we need next is that bone meal, because we already need another tree. Now, we do start with a couple of mushrooms on the islands, so that's going to be where we start. But managing bone meal is going to be very important in the beginning, because you have to be able to bone meal the ground to restore it back to, what is this, nylium? That is, yeah, warped nylium. So you have to restore it back to these sections using bone meal, and that's just so that when you use the bone meal, you're going to maximize how many mushrooms you might be able to get out of it. And then once you do get the mushrooms, you have to bone meal the mushrooms to get them to grow so that you can get more wood. And that is generally what the goal is at this point, is to try and get what we need. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that in there, pop that, and we've got our first bone meal and our first dirt. So that helps a lot. And then we'll just go ahead and compost those. So the source of our bone meal is going to end up being these leaves here, which is actually the warped wart block. And these actually are really good for composting. The growing system when you use these is completely sustainable if you don't lose too many of these. So that's why we want to build out the platform, is so that as we grow these, we don't lose too many and we can keep the cycle going. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here grabbing these blocks, and it's very slow because I have no tools. And I'm going to get more bone meal. I'm going to grow some blocks, build out my platform, and I'm not going to sit here and let you all watch that because it's very boring. We don't want that. Not good content. So I will bring you back as soon as I've got probably this base platform, and we'll talk about what the next steps are. All right, we've been working on a platform here, but we've got a small problem. I stepped far enough away from the starting zone that I've got a mob, and because I have no armor, this is probably going to hurt. So my best bet is either to just go in and start wailing on it and hope it dies before I do, or try and yeet it over the side. Considering I've put a railing on most of this, I don't think I'm going to be yeeting him over the side, so I think we're just going to have to go up there and go for it. So, and being that I don't have food, healing is going to be a problem afterwards, but let's go. All right, dude, I know you don't like me. Goodbye. Okay, so we yeeted him over the side. That's fantastic, and now I hurt. But that's okay. What I was trying to do was to avoid that situation, actually. And to avoid that situation, I'm trying to make this zone right here spawn-proof, because this, as you can see in the upper left, is the nether wastes. Over there, where I put that nylium, that is actually a nylium forest right in that little spot there. I was trying to find a bigger location, but it didn't happen. However, I think I'm going to try and move my operations over that direction and just make it so that they can't spawn based upon the amount of room that's available. So, yeah, I'm going to keep doing that. But that being said, yeah, I'm still don't have enough resources for what I was just about to say. Being that this is an advancement heavy playthrough, this is going to mean that I need to spend some time trying to get some of the advancements. Now, I know one of them that I could get might actually help me a lot. The question is, am I going to be able to pull it off without adding too much difficulty to my life? And there it is. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some dirt. And, oh wait. Hey, there we go, dirt collector. Dirt collector is one of the advancements, the custom ones, where if I have a stack of 64 dirt, I get an achievement. So, we have made that much dirt. That tells you how much bone meal we've been going through. This is basically an entire count, so a stack plus 2 minus that amount over there is what we've actually used. This is how much we've actually had. So the first thing that we want to do is put one of these in place. Now, as I just said, most of this is nether wastes, so I'm not really keen on my options here, but I really just don't have a lot of options. So I think what I'm going to do is, actually no. Let's take some of the mushroom lights and we're going to work on the food situation. See, especially since I've just taken some damage. So what I can do, this is being nether wastes. What I'm hoping is going to work is if I pop that, put a mushroom light there. And you know what? Let's be optimistic a little bit. So if I put mushroom lights there, that ought to give me a space that I can work with. And then what I want to do next is put some dirt down. That's not dirt, that's a hoe. I did make a couple of tools, and obviously all I can get right now is wooden tools. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And then what I want to do is try and make it so that I can walk under this, but mobs cannot. And I think the way that that's going to probably work best is not going to be a slab like this. Tell you what I can do is I can put the slab up top, and we'll just pop these back off for now. So that slab is non-spawnable. We're going to take these away, and we'll put the two slabs there. Now this is still probably too tall, but I'm limited on what exactly I can do because I don't have a lot of materials. So actually I might have just enough. And if I don't remember what the recipe is, I think yes. So we're just going to make a couple of expensive trapdoors, put the rest of that wood away, take one of those. Now what I'm hoping is that by putting this here, nothing can spawn on that block, but I can walk on it. So then the next step is to get my wheat seed, get my hoe, and we're just going to go bop, bop. And now we have a seedy place, and we have another slot in our inventory. So now we can carry 3 things. So this is what the achievements do. When you get enough achievements, you unlock another slot in your inventory. And it does take a while in order to get some of these achievements. So that's exciting. I can now carry 50% more things. And some of the other stuff that's going on around here, we have a blue ice. And this blue ice is very, very helpful for making a particular farm. And then the other thing that we have is a very precious lava bucket. Now, the reason this is so precious is this is the only lava bucket I currently have access to. So we want to hold on to that, keep that safe, not lose it. That would be a very, very bad, not fun day for me. So that being said, we can continue farming and continue trying to build stuff up and tear this section down so that we get it flat and non-spawnable, and hopefully not get another pig that's going to start shooting at me, because that's just really not cool. I don't want to die if I can help it. So we're just going to go ahead and put that mushroom over there, because we're going to have to make it grow. And yeah, I'm going to get to work over on this side and see what I can do in order to spawn proof this, improve the facilities a little bit, and we'll probably harvest up the extra resources like this soul sand here, which may not seem like much, but this is actually a really important aspect to that farm I mentioned with that blue ice and the bucket of lava. See, you need soul soil in order to make a basalt generator. Now, this is soul sand, not soul soil, but there is a trick in order to get soul soil. So when we get to that, I will go ahead and show you what that's going to look like. The same trick that I used to get the soul soil is also going to help me out with a food problem here in the future. So we've got wheat growing. We're going to keep that growing and hopefully expand that. But really our focus is going to be cleaning up this area, make it spawn proof, and hopefully make it so that we are a lot safer and don't take another 3.5 hearts of damage before we have a chance to heal. So yeah, on with the work. So I'm almost done mob proofing the starting spot. I just need to replace this section here with some slabs and I should be good to go. I did mention that there was an extra block in here aside from the soul sand that was actually quite useful, and that is the bone block. There's only one of these, and if you find that you have inadvertently used up all of your bone meal, you've got that, which will give you 9 more bone meal. So very useful block to have there. I like not using it if I can help it, although I did use it and then I replaced it so that I could show you where it was. I had inadvertently used up all my bone meal while I was doing this and forgot I needed to grow a tree. So I fixed that, put the bone block back so that I have that. And now I've got a little bit of stuff to compost before I grow the next tree, but I think I should be all right, hopefully, with the 3 bone meal that I've got there. And just been moving the operation, everything over to this section here. So I'm going to try and put trapdoors on the underside of this section so that I can grow my mushrooms here, and then I will grow the mushrooms into their giant form over here, which is the warped forest. And that should make it so that the only thing that can spawn there, if I don't have a tree there, would be an Enderman. And so long as I don't look at it, I should be okay. They don't tend to cause a lot of problems unless, obviously, unless you look at them. And if I leave a section open, I might be able to just push it over the edge if one does appear. Or I'll make a safe spot so that I can kill it and maybe get an ender pearl, which would also be a very useful thing. Not that I would use it here, because if I use it anywhere here, I'm going to end up in the void, but there could be a use for it later. So that is what I'm still working on here. Just going to finish up this section, and then I think I'm going to, after this, work on the basalt generator. And using the basalt, I should be able to start adding some gray, which is color, to the build, and then start making what I would call my house, which I don't know if I really need one or not. It's not like I can sleep here anyway. So I may just keep working on this and make it a functional area, keep expanding the farm as it happens to come along. As you can see, we're really close to having our first wheat. Just a really slow process, but that also highlights that I've probably been working too long on this stuff. So I'm going to finish this up, probably gather some more resources, and then we're going to be back and create our first farm. So I'll bring you back then. Well, I did mention one of the dangers of what I was doing was Enderman would be able to spawn. I did inadvertently look at this one, so and they've got a custom texture, I think, on it, so that's why it looks kind of different. There we go. And that gave me another achievement. I don't see a pearl down there. Anyway, so yeah, the Enderman apparently can spawn on top of these trees because he was up top, so that's a danger I gotta think about. I think what I'm going to do is work on what I said I was going to, which is get that basalt generator in place, and that's actually what I was planning for. And then the other thing that I need to do is get that oak sapling growing, and that has a very specific purpose right now, considering my limited resources. But one thing that it will allow me to do is make boats. So if I can get some oak wood, I can make boats, and that will allow me to better handle those Endermen, kind of capture them and deal with them without them teleporting everywhere. That would be very, very helpful. So I'm going to finish chopping this down, and then we're going to go ahead and start putting our basalt generator, I think, right over there where I knocked out that block. So let me finish chopping this down, and then we'll get started. Alright, so a basalt generator is going to require something that we do not have yet. And in order to make that, I'm going to get all my pieces together. And we're going to make a campfire. So I said that we needed some soul soil, but we only had soul sand. So we're going to make a campfire. And then we're going to place the campfire, and then we're going to punch the campfire until it breaks. And that gives us soul soil. So having soul soil, we can now get our first resources. And what I want to do is I want to that is already incorrect. That's not what I wanted to do. What I want to do is be able to mine it from right here, and that is where I want to work from. So we're going to take out some more blocks around here, because on one side we're going to have our lava, and on the other side, now let's see, for lava I want to do that. And the other side of it, we need to have ice. Now, I could just put the ice in, I think above it, but I'm going to put it to the side because I think that's going to look good. Not that, you know, looks are going to matter on an ugly generator anyway, but that's what we're going to do. So the next part that I want is to ensure that I encase this. So we're going to get some more block. There's another Enderman. We definitely are going to have to get some boats going, because that will make it so much easier to kill those Endermen. But before that, let's go ahead and get the basalt going, because I want some color. Now, I put this slab here on purpose. That is going to serve an important function in this project, and that is, as I said, this is the only bucket of lava that I have, and as such, I'm going to need it in the future, the lava. So what we're going to do is make this generator in such a way that I can easily pull the lava back out. Now that is pretty basic right here. I think I'm going to do 2 more pieces just to kind of finish it up there, so that I don't necessarily want to see the ice. So we'll put that away. Of course, I'm going to run out of the materials that I would love to have. I need another tree. So I didn't make enough materials. I got excited about making something functional. So I'm going to go ahead and just grow a really quick tree. Hopefully really quick. And take a couple of logs from it, and then that should be good. Because we're just a few slabs shy. So if I take that, and then this one. Okay, I should still be able to cut down the rest, assuming that it's... Yeah, that's not a bad size tree. I'm afraid of looking at the Enderman. He's a little intimidating right now, especially since I'm so squishy. So we're going to go ahead and finish this up. So all we needed was to put a few more pieces in place, and that actually should do, allowing me to get in there and get the basalt. So for the basalt, oh good, I do have a pickaxe yet. For the basalt, we want our lava, and we just put that right there, and every time it goes on top of the soul soil, touching blue ice, it will turn into basalt. So this is going to be a not very efficient farm, and this bucket is still important because that's our only bucket. It's inefficient in the fact that as we mine this, some of it's going to pop into the lava and burn up. So, that being said, we now have basalt. And while basalt is not a block I'm going to use a lot of because there's not much that I can actually do with it, it is going to add some not green to my build, so we can have some grays. And that will make me happy because I like at least a little bit of color. And yeah, so I'm just going to work this pickaxe the rest of the way down, and I'll have to make another one here soon. And yeah, that's the basalt generator. Pretty simple to do, and just requires a little bit of extra legwork. And I hate you, Enderman. I hate you so much. Okay. So, got to be mindful of that. They actually take my blocks, which means that I think I want to do that, because if I can keep him away from the block, he won't take it. He might take that one, though. We'll just have to deal with that for now. Hopefully I can make things a little bit better. But basalt. So I actually want to use some polished basalt. I think it's going to look a little bit better. And we're going to use those for these pillars that are holding up the roof. That was my initial thought of what I wanted to do with this basalt, is just add it in like so. All right, so that I think is going to make for a good start to this series, and I'm going to look down because I don't want to look at that Enderman. We've got the capability of growing more Nylium trees. We've got the ability to make some basalt. We've got the starter tools. So all we really need next is food. And while we do have some wheat growing over there, it's not going to be very fast. So we're going to keep this going because it's going to be helpful in the long run. But we need a better source of food. And I think I've got a spot right over here that I can use for that. So I hope you've been enjoying this episode. And I hope you will join me for the next one, where we are going to work on getting some food. And then hopefully start branching out and look for some different types of blocks. I've got some ideas of what I want to do and how I want to do it. So we're just going to keep working on that. And we'll catch you next time. Bye.